Welcome to Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole, hosted by two nationally published Atlanta interior designers, Joanne Kandrak and Kelly Cole. These energetic women are also world travelers, charity givers, and bloggers with a wealth of information to share and stories to tell about the interior design world. Okay, now just a warning, this is going to be fun and not too serious. After all, they still do have an interior design business running at full speed.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is episode 77 of Inside Design with Kandrak and Cole. And today we are going to be talking about survival tips for working at home, which we are doing right now. Joanne and I, we are separated today. We are both in our homes with our podcast equipment set up because we're all dealing with these unprecedented times right now with COVID-19 ruling our world. And we just want to give a shout out to everybody and hope that you're as healthy, as safe as you can be. We thought that since the vast majority of people around the world are sequestered in their homes right now, that it would be the perfect time for us to lend a helping hand, virtually that is. So if you're looking around your home and you're feeling the need to improve your surroundings for your mental and spiritual health, probably more than anything else, we've got a lot of tips for you today.
Yeah, so here's a shout out to Produce Your Podcast, who helps us produce this, and for helping us out to be able to bring our equipment home and do this from home set so that we can bring this to you. So thanks for that. And also want to mention that this podcast is sponsored by Currey and Company. And Currey and Company is our absolute favorite lighting company. We recommend you go to their website. It's Currey, Currey, and company.com. Check out their lighting, furniture, mirrors, accessories, and upholstery. So with spring upon us, definitely check out their outdoor collection. They have a series of outdoor benches that are really cool, unique, including some concrete benches that look beautiful in a garden. Currey & Company is a to-the-trade-only company, so if you're not a designer, you can either find their product pricing via Google or contact your local designer. And if you are a designer, this is a must account to have open. We recently had Brownlee Currey of Currey & Company on episode 75, if you want to go back and listen to that. It's a really, really interesting podcast on how the company started and what they do in today's world.
He's a cool dude. All right, so let's dig in and let's talk about what you can do inside your home while we're all home for the foreseeable future. And we always turn to paint because your home, you've got some time. Why not do a project like this? But there's nothing like a fresh coat of paint to brighten up your surroundings, give your home decor a quick boost. And so everybody loves when we talk about paint colors, so we thought we would talk about just a few of our no-fail favorites.
So we'll go ahead and start with our favorite whites. And Sherwin-Williams is generally who we use, so these are all going to be Sherwin-Williams colors. And our top three favorite whites are SW7005, which is pure white, SW7008, alabaster, and SW7566, which is West Highland white.
And I would say for those, starting with pure white, it goes from the whitest to the creamiest. So, alabaster is kind of a good middle. It has a tiny bit of creamy in it. So think about, there's just a million colors of white and everybody always needs a little bit of help. But then there's a bunch of whites that are super pretty that just have a tint of something in them. And they're great for ceilings, if you want a slightly contrasted trim, or if you want a white wall, but not white. So I would recommend 7631 City Loft. It has a tiny bit of gray tan in it. I used it on the trim all around my house and on the doors at my lake house, and I really love that color. 9166 Drift of Mist has a Joanne, a little tiny bit of gray in it? Just a little?
Yes.
Would you say for Drift of Mist? And
yes,
then
a warm gray.
A warm gray, yeah. And then Eider White 7014 is a great ceiling color, I think. It's when you just need that little bit of contrast. Again, a little bit of gray. But when I say gray, people are going, oh, I'm sick of gray now. I don't want to go anywhere near it. It's really, it cools it down just a little bit. City Loft, Drift of Mist, and Eider White are some great ones that are just really neutrals and easy.
And if you haven't painted your house in several years, you may have that gold color. There's still probably some red dining rooms. This would be a great time to just lighten those up. And it just creates a completely lighter, brighter, happier, not so dark and dingy. So putting any of those on a dark color will completely change the feel of a room. And then if you want to
we all need a mental shift right now, don't you? And that would be a great way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such a rewarding thing. I mean, it's not that hard to paint a room as long as you don't have really high ceilings. You can probably do this yourself. Go to find something on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you really want to be bold and do something a little extra special, paint your mantle surround. Generally, most of them are builder white. And by painting a color, you're giving it a little bit of a contrast and making it feel more custom. So some of our favorite colors from mantle surrounds are 7018 Dovetail, 7674 Peppercorn, or 9173 Shiitake. And those are kind of grayish, brownish, grayish-ish that will give you a pop against whatever wall color you have.
That's such a quickie, It's such a quick little thing.
Yeah.
That's a day. That's paint your mantle. Like everybody's like, paint the mantle. Yes, paint the mantle. It should never be white. So that's a great one. Also, if you just want a small project, paint your powder room. To me, powder rooms and laundry rooms are meant to be fun and bold. A lot of times powder rooms are kind of down a hallway. They don't have to match in, or flow with the rest of the house, but have some fun with them. You can tap into the Pantone color of the year, which is Naval, Sherwin-Williams 7244. You can paint your powder room black, and don't freak out. It looks really, really good. We've done it before. Joanne and I both used to have black kitchens, and in a small space, it looks fantastic. And Caviar is 7990. It's kind of a dark charcoal. It's not pitch black, so it's a really, actually just a comforting color. And then if you want to go really crazy, have a little fun because it's spring, 6447 Arugula is like a deep green. It's not emerald. It's not forest. It's just a deep, happy green. So, go for it. It's just paint. If you hate it, repaint over it.
I remember when I worked in that showroom, and people would always ask, what color can I paint my powder room to make it look bigger? And really, it's not a big room. It's not supposed to be a big room. So there's really not anything that's going to make it look bigger, but you can make it more interesting, and that's why the dark colors look so good in there.
That's a really good point, and it leads perfectly into our next thing, and that is upgrade your lighting. I think
we talk about this all the time, Cal, don't we?
Yeah.
Lighting is
all the time.
Is so huge.
But I had this vision, like when we were putting together this outline, like everybody's home. They're spending inordinate amounts of time that they weren't normally. They're not normally at home, and guaranteed that 80% of Americans are living in a home with inadequate lighting, and we see this every time we go on a consultation. Either the lights are not big enough, they have the wrong bulbs, or they're just cheap, and so they don't have high wattage. So, everybody's home right now. They're trying to work, they're reading, playing games, doing things that they might not normally be doing at different times of the day. And so we really just wanted to talk about upgrading lighting, because it's something that you can go online and order and have shipped to your house and not have to leave the house.
Yeah,
so
one of our big go-tos is 3-way wattage. Having a 150 watt light bulb versus a 60 watt is like night and day. No pun intended. It just illuminates. And to sit and read with a bright light like that just makes things so much easier on the eyes. And I
don't think people pay attention to that. They're like, that lamp is pretty, I'll get it. They're
they
not
don't
really like,
know what they don't.
They're not looking at the wattage and the kind of bulb that it comes with. Like all these Edison bulbs are so cool and funky, and they, you can't.
Yeah. Like bedside lamps and table lamps should be like 30 to 34 inches high. And a lot of times I see a lot of 26 and 27 inch high. And that makes such a difference in the height of that lamp. So we're going to give you some tips and some great sites to go to find some great lights. So Currey and Company, which we mentioned, build.com. It's nice with a lot of these sites because you can filter by the size, the finish, and things like that. And that's a good site for that. Shadesoflight.com has some really, really beautiful and unique and a huge selection of lamps and lighting. Rejuvenation, Lamps Plus, and Circle Lighting are all some of our favorites.
Circle Lighting, do you have to go to a store to buy that, or can you buy Circle Lighting online?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I wasn't sure because all the rest you can, and they're all we use all those companies for all of our jobs. So definitely check it out. It's worth it. So while you're also working at home, everybody, let's talk about our personal favorite home essentials to work remote. So if you didn't have a home office before the coronavirus entered our world, I bet you're trying to put one together now, and it might even be a temporary one. So you might not even have the space in your house. So organization is key, obviously, and we're going to go through a few essentials that we find because we don't work at home a ton, but we both have spaces at home where we can work. So we're going to kind of go over the things that we think are really important when you're setting up a home office.
Yeah. I never used to work with a second monitor until Kelly turned me onto it, and now I cannot work without it. So working for a laptop's great, but nothing beats having a second, large monitor. If you haven't tried it, it is a must. I have a 27-inch monitor, and I love it. LG and Dell are the go-tos for those.
Definitely. I don't know what I would do. It's like on one, let's see, everybody's different, but for me, I have my email on my laptop. But if I'm working on, and I usually have my messenger chat on my big screen. And then I usually have, if I'm working on something visual, like Safari is usually on my big screen. So I'm not clicking back and forth, and I can enlarge a screen so I can see it better, or I can screenshot better because I have a bigger screen. It just makes a world of difference. Again,
exactly. That's
good
exactly
lighting.
How I use it.
Yeah, exactly. Good lighting. We just talked about that, but LED task lighting and being as close to a window if you can get there is really the best. We have these LED task lights in our office that you can completely change the temperature and the brightness of the light, and it really helps the eyes. It really does. My eyes get really tired when I'm working and I don't have good lighting. A comfortable ergonomic chair.
Another thing is,
definitely.
If it's a temporary office, maybe look at a chair from IKEA. They're very reasonable. They are pretty comfortable. But if it's a more permanent solution, check out the Steel Case Think Chair. We've suggested this to so many clients, and after they've gotten us, they have thanked us because they never would have realized what a difference it's made for when they're sitting for long lengths of time. And it really does. It helps your productivity. If you're uncomfortable and you don't have all the things that need to be at your fingertips or whatever, you're not going to be nearly as productive. And then consider a standing desk. I've never had one, but I know people that do and really love it. This might be your chance to try that.
I think that's such a great idea. And I think if I were ever to redo our office, I would have standing desks for all of us. They're the ones that you can manipulate and go up and down, so you don't have to stand all day. It's just so much better for your circulation and your thinking and ergonomically. Also, organization. My husband he only looks at his screen and he doesn't care what's in his peripheral. But for me, everything has to be neat and tidy before I sit down or I cannot think. So if you're one of those people, I think there is great, cool, fun companies that make office supplies, funky. So for me, I don't like it. It just has to be near me. So I like to have my paper clips and my stickies and my stapler, my pens, but, just very organized. So here's a few websites to check out that have some fun stuff. Twist Office Partners. They're twistop.com. cjanework.com. And of course, Home Goods or Target. Not that you're probably going to go there right now, but maybe when all this is over, They always have great office stuff, but I thought twistup.com and CJ and Work were so fun. I mean, everything from tape dispensers that are acrylic and, everything's just pretty.
And just colorful stuff. It's nice to surround yourself, with a pretty pencil cup or things like that. It just kind of makes your environment just feel happier.
Absolutely.
And then having a multifunctional laser printer, so you have the capability to copy, scan. I mean, they a lot of them come like this anyway. They have all the functions to copy, scan, email, print in color, and I wouldn't really worry about faxing. I'm not sure if that's really happening a whole lot, but those other capabilities are just so nice, and they're not expensive these days. Printers are really pretty inexpensive.
Yeah. Laser jets are a little bit more. The ink costs quite a bit, but it lasts forever, and it's great quality. So I think we have 2 inkjets in the office, but I have a laser printer at home, and I really love it. And it has saved me to be able to scan things to people, especially when I'm here and I just don't have, a lot of, everything has to be online. Yeah. And then just think about this, and everything that we're talking about right now is all about mental wellness, because we're all going to go crazy at some point. So when you're setting up your office or making it better if you already have one, think about what you look at. So when you look up from your screen, what are you looking at? So think about a pretty piece of art. Cherish and Minted are 2. Even Pottery Barn has actually really great art, I think. And so make sure that when you look up, you're looking at something pretty. Photographs of your family, a pretty plant. Have an essential oil diffuser. I have 2. I have one from doTERRA and one from Revive. And during both my girls love it too. And we have all different kinds, from lavender to breathe to eucalyptus, but it really helps me just to calm down. A candle. So just think about, what you're surrounding yourself with during these stressful times.
Makes such a difference. It really does make such a difference. And then having fast internet. When internet is slow, I get so impatient, and I start to tap my fingers, and I get like a little crazy. So having fast internet, go for like 50 megabits or higher. That will help you be more productive and keep going and not get frustrated. And so, and another thing is find ways to declutter and free your brain. So here is a great mantra. If you haven't looked at it, thought about it, or used it in over a year, it goes. Or a second mantra. If it's not beautiful, is not useful, and does not bring you joy, it goes. So get prepared before you dig in. So have your trash bags, clear storage bins, big Sharpies for labeling and a label maker, and fresh new files. That's always so exciting. Pendaflex, Manila, whatever you use. Just have it be fresh and clean and new and make you just feel good working in that space.
I think that's a big point, because I am like a professional purger. It's my therapy, but you have to be prepared before you dig in. So if you're like, I'm going to tackle this room, or I'm going to tackle this closet, and then you don't have the things to then make it organized, then you're not prepared. And it's so much easier. You can move a whole lot faster if you've got those trash bags and those clear bins. I think the clear bins are key, because if they go up on a shelf and you can't see what's in them, even if you label it, they're so much better to be clear. So I think, all of this is just, we gotta clear our brains right now.
I was thinking too, like, you need kind of a large space, and you might not have that in your home. I know a couple people who use like dining room tables as desks, not in their dining, but as desks, so that they can spread out. So hopefully you can find a place where you can kind of spread out, because right now I have my microphone and I have a lot of things at my desk, and I'm feeling a little, because this is not where I work every day. So I've got things kind of laid all over. I've got blueprints, I've got binders, and I'm feeling a little crazy because I don't have a lot of space. So try to find a place where you can find some space so that not everything is like coming at you.
Well, Joanne, at least you have an office. Mike and I downsized years ago. So he has a great office, which I'm sitting in right now, but I have taken over the dining room table, and we don't even have a dining room. We have like a big, massive, great room where kitchen, family room, and eating is all one room. So it's like nobody can eat at the dining room table right now. I've taken it over. And then both my girls are home. They're 24 and 26. And so they're upstairs in their rooms, and we have some IKEA desks and, actually, Riley comes down sometimes and sits with me at the dining room table. Emery's upstairs all day long. Sometimes we move to the courtyard, but yeah, we're sequestered in all corners of our house. So I'm
sure
just
it's a challenge for people.
Yeah, especially
with the noise.
With the noise, yeah, because we're all on conference calls. So I have them all sequestered right now, and they're all, I'm like, nobody can talk for the next 30 minutes. Do not make noise.
The other thing too, it's spring and the weather's getting better. So get outside, try to get outside, maybe upgrade your patio at this point. Some of our favorite resources for outdoor furniture is Summer Classics. There's a company called Selamat. It's spelled Selamat, and they do a lot of wicker and really interesting pieces. Frontgate catalog. Costco has amazing outdoor furniture, really reasonably priced with Sumbrella fabrics.
And I think they deliver for free.
So this might be a good time to maybe get that area jazzed up a little bit so that you can go spend some time outside when you need a break and sitting on something comfortable and give yourself a little mental break too. And then one last one is Mainly Baskets. And they're really not just mainly baskets. They do a lot of furniture and also beautiful wicker that's really, really fun.
They have a new outdoor line that's gorgeous.
Yeah. These tips will kind of help keep you sane because we do still have to work. And even though so many things have stopped, you may, in your own home, have to continue working and try to make the best of it, because we don't know how long this is going to last.
Before we move on to our quotes, we wanted to remind you that if you're home and you're like, I need help, you can go onto our website and you will see under our services, we've got a whole lot to offer that you can take advantage of from your home. And one of them is called Pick Your Brain. And in that one, you can just quickly sign up for small periods of time and give us a buzz, and we will walk you through whatever you're trying to do. It's a great way for us to share our intellectual knowledge with you guys and our design help from afar. So just check out our website, candrack-cole.com, and look at all the services there. Lots of them are virtual, and you can just pay online, and it's super easy. So we just want to help everybody out.
Yeah, there's sometimes you just have a few questions. You might have 5 questions and you want to just run them by us. It's a great way to do that. Okay, quotes. Yep. I'll do the funny quote.
Okie dokie.
So with March and April basically canceled, the next holiday is, wait for it, Cinco de Mayo, sponsored by Corona.
That's a little cheeky, but you got to laugh during these times. Yeah. All right, here's a more serious one, and it's long, but I love it so much, and I have it printed on my pantry door, so everybody in my family has to read it several times a day. So listen up, because it's really good. And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced, some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently. And the people healed. And in the absence of people living in ignorant, dangerous, mindless, and heartless ways, the earth began to heal. And when the danger passed and the people joined together again, they grieved their losses and made new choices and dreamed new images and created new ways to live and heal the earth fully as they had been healed. And that's by Kitty O'Mara on her blog, thedailyround.com. Is that not the most beautiful thing?
Everybody needs to print that and put it up because it is. It's
Look her up, Kitty O'Mara, Omeara.
I love that so much.
Well, that was quick. Yeah. I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope we were able to give you some good tips for painting and upgrading your lighting and making your office a little bit better and decluttering your brain and getting out in the spring. So
Yeah, hang in there, everybody. And just one last thing. We told you that we were going to announce something this time that has kind of been put a little bit on the back burner with all that's going on, but we have been selected as one of 20 designers to be involved in the One Room Challenge. And it's an event where designers are selected to redesign a room from beginning to end and document it every week. So it was supposed to kick off today, April 1st, but it has now been postponed to May 6th or 7th. So keep your eyes out. People will be posting, but the real start of it will probably be in about a month. But we're doing a really cool space, and we'll share that with you as things get moving along. So thanks for listening, everybody. Hang in there. Stay healthy. We wish everybody all the best, and thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Join Joanne and Kelly weekly for a lively conversation about trends, travels to industry events, current design projects, the good, the bad, and the ugly, do's and don'ts, product recommendations, and more. Be sure to follow the fun on Facebook. They're on Instagram at Kandrak-Cole, and of course, you've got to visit them online at kandrak-cole.com for more information.